We're live. Good afternoon, everyone. Evening, morning, whatever it may be where you are. Welcome to our teaching on the 7 rays of light. And I'm Teri Angel. We do have some people in the audience with us, and hopefully, if you're coming in, you'll share this for us so more people can find it. I'm going to begin with sharing my screen because I love to teach with PowerPoint. And so let me do that first.
Can I ask you to do something first?
Mhm.
Can you acknowledge the archangel standing in the room?
We are going to acknowledge all of them.
He's been here all day just waiting for this.
He really has been. All right, so I've got to turn that off. Okay, so now I need to do one other thing. Let's turn that off. There we go. Hi, Darlene. Thank you for joining us. Get back to where I was. Okay. We are working with this divine energy, the rays of light, and this is our fourth presentation of them. And I like to begin the way I begin everything I do, with our wonderful angels. So if you'll just take a deep breath in, we have a very special angel with us tonight, and I believe he does want to be recognized first. So asking Archangel Gabriel to touch everyone with his special energy, the energy of love, of enlightenment, of opening us up and helping us to understand more fully. And then I want to ask Archangel Raphael to be present with us for any healing that will take place or needs to take place. Archangel Michael, making this a sacred space. Only love and light is welcome here. And Archangel Uriel, thank you for grounding us, for helping us to be centered and balanced as we learn more about our spiritual journey. Thank you, angels, for being here. And as always, I give all honor, all credit to the Creator. All right, so let's begin. The fourth ray of light, it is the white ray. And each ray that we're working with, I just want to make sure everybody's hearing me because it says I'm muted. So, Darlene, can you let me know that you are hearing this, please? I'm in Restream instead of Zoom. Here we are, but it still says I'm muted. Okay, so before I get into it, I just want to make sure you all can hear what's being said.
Well, okay, you're live.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Oh, Darlene says, yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Darlene. I really appreciate that. Okay, so each ray carries a quality, and we're going to talk about that and what the specific quality of this ray is. Now, I don't know why my PowerPoint is not working the way it needs to work. Of course, this is going to go wonky, isn't it? All right. I'm not sure what it's doing here, actually, because it's not letting me advance the PowerPoint. Bear with me, people. We may have to do it without a PowerPoint this time, you guys, if I can't figure out how to make it advance. I need Sue. All right, well, this is down here. Let me stop the share. I don't understand what changed. They have changed Zoom like a lot. So we're all just trying to make our way through what's happening with the changes. All right, so I think I'm just going to stop the PowerPoint and we're just going to go with the teaching. If I can find how to stop the share.
We got all night, Teri. It's
I don't get it. There's no share button. Crazy.
There's no stop share.
I don't even see the share button. I don't know what all this stuff is.
You in Zoom?
Yeah, I'm in Zoom. No, I'm in Restream, but I told it to go to Zoom. That's what comes up on Zoom. We're trying to figure it out, you guys.
Can you just talk in a tiny little box?
Let's see what happens.
Oh, try that. Try the arrows. At least you got a bigger you.
Got a bigger me now. Oh, now I get the buttons. Yay, thank you. And thank you, Gabriel. All right, so what are these rays of lights that we're talking about? Let's get going with that. We've talked about three of them. The first, second, and third we've already covered, and those are recorded. You can find them on YouTube at Enlightened World Network if you'd like to check out those earlier ones. This one is the white ray, the ray of harmony. And we're going to find out it is harmony through conflict and what that means. That's what we're dealing with because this is a teaching place for us humans. We're learning through conflict. We're learning through challenges. We're learning through the contrast. So this ray represents the ability to bring harmony out of that contrast. What is that spiritual meaning of the white ray? Harmony, going into bringing in more peace, more contentment as we're here on this earth plane, becoming skilled at compromise, the capacity to create. We are co-creators. So this whole ray, the white ray, works with our creativity. It brings in the love of beauty and the ability to create beauty in the world. It's all about spontaneity. And as you will learn when we talk about the Ascended Master who's guiding us, he is all about discipline and how to use discipline to call in that creativity. These are the qualities of the white ray. Now, you may have been in this ray from the very beginning of your birth, and so some of this might resonate with you very much. You might have worked with this white ray energy, or maybe it entices you to come in because you like some of these qualities that you might find here in the white ray. The qualities, of course, purification. When you think of white, we think of pure and purity. So purification, beauty emerging from the chaos. Have you ever had that thought before? Because I hadn't until I really delved into this white ray. We think of chaos as something we don't want, right? We don't want that. We don't want to have to deal with conflict or confrontation. So this white ray And the ones working with the white ray are bringing in the beauty associated with the chaos. And when we see things being spun around and upside down, then those white ray energies help us to look at it with different eyes, different perspective. It's about balance, divine balance, and sacred creativity, illumination of the soul energy, and what that's all about, focusing more on that than on the human energy that we are immersed in as we have incarnated into these beings. And the last one I have to move is radiance, shining your light, being that light in the world. And when you shine it, others notice, they pay attention, or they're drawn to the light. So the fourth ray is the ascension flame, the white light of the mother, our divine mother, at the base of the spine chakra. So the root chakra is where this energy is going to be felt and where we're really guided into to work with the white light. This brings out architecture, the principle of mathematics, foundation of the building of matter, because when we create, we are bringing things into form, into the temple and the pyramid of ourself. So that is the real essence of this fourth ray energy. Who guides the fourth ray? Every ray has what's called a Chohan. A Chohan is an ascended master, and we've talked about ascended masters many times over the last 3 of these teachings. An ascended master has lived prior lives, and in those prior lives has reached a point of enlightenment where they work with us on the human world in this earth plane, where they can help us by understanding more fully what we're going through because they went through it. They experienced the things we experience in our current life, so they're able to help us more. The Ascended Master is Serapis Bey, and we're going to talk about him. The angel that guides this ray is Archangel Gabriel, and we're going to have a special this time that we'll have someone else talking about this angel, and we'll get to that after we talk about this ascended master that I dearly love, Serapis Bey. I encountered Serapis Bey maybe 11 or 12 years ago for the first time. I learned about his energy, and it's a strong energy, but it's also very gentle and kind. That was the first thing I felt when I encountered Serapis Bey, was a kindness about him. So he is our Chohan, which is the leader of this ray. And he is incarnated many, many times. I've only listed some of them here. There are more of how he incarnated, but I have more information about his incarnations. So let me get that up where I can share it with you. So it's thought that he incarnated as a high priest in one of the temples of the sacred fire on Atlantis. And then he migrated to Egypt at the time of the destruction of Atlantis. So being that high priest in something that, as humans, we kind of have a hard time wrapping our brains around, don't we? Around Atlantis, and just the unknown, not knowing what that time was all about. And Serapis Bey is one that can enlighten us on some of that. So he migrated to Egypt, and he also is believed to have been King Leonidas, which was a Greek king, and he was in a battle that was one of the most well-known battles of all time, where the Greeks asked him to help him with an invasion of the Persians, and he actually perished in that battle. So he has been involved in conflict in many of these incarnations. He's also incarnated as, and I'll probably butcher this name, Amenhotep III, who began his rule at age 9. He was an Egyptian pharaoh, and he and his wife are known as the founders of monotheism in Egypt. And him being a white ray and all about architecture and creating, they were the ones that were responsible for building the Luxor temple and the temple of Karnak, which Ruth and I visited when we went to Egypt last year. And I don't remember a whole lot about Luxor. Ruth may remember more than I do. I remember it being beautiful, the whole energy there in that area. So maybe she'll share some about Luxor if she feels like it. So also he was the king, a Roman king, Pompilus. He was known to be the philosophers Confucius, Plato, and Seneca, who I am so drawn to Seneca's teachings and his writings. So if you're not familiar with Seneca, maybe look that one up. He's referred to in the book Super Mundane as the thinker. And I think many of us are probably familiar with that statue of the thinker. So now every time I see that statue, I think of Serapis Bey. So that's a lot of his past lives. There were more, but those are the ones that just really helps us because he's been through conflict. And the whole thing about the white ray is bringing in beauty and peace and love, even in the midst of chaos. So you can see how he can really help us to understand that. So let's call upon Serapis Bey. And again, I just want to make clear when I say call upon, I only pray to God, and I believe that's supposed to be the way things are. There's the hierarchy, and God is at the top. So we offer prayers to God. We call in and invoke the energy of angels, ascended masters, our guides. So that's what I want to do at this point, is ask Serapis Bey, this Chohan of harmony and wisdom, to delight us now with your presence, to surround us in this pure white light of transformation, to clear our minds of fear, confusion, limitation. Everything is possible. Purify our hearts so that we can walk in truth, grace, and compassion. Help us find harmony within ourselves and peace within the conflicts of life. Teach us to see the beauty where we once saw brokenness and wisdom where we once felt pain. Beloved Serapis Bey, guide us into greater spiritual discipline, greater balance, and deeper alignment with our soul's divine purpose. Illuminate our creative gifts. Awaken the sacred artist within each of us. Help us become a living expression of love, harmony, and light. May every thought, word, and action reflect the beauty of the divine. I open myself to the higher frequencies of the fourth ray of light. So let's feel that now. Feel that ray. Envision that white light starting at the base of your spine, at the root chakra, and see it rising and shining into your heart. And just allow this ascended master to bring his kindness, his discipline, his wisdom to each of us, that we may find a harmony in our hearts at this time. I hope you feel the warmth of Serapis Bey. I hope you feel his energy as divine, because that's exactly what it feels like when I tune into him. And I'm hoping that I'm conveying even a little bit of his energy to you now. So, as I said, each ray has an ascended master and an archangel. they work together. And especially in this white ray of harmony, they really work together. Archangel Gabriel is our angel. His name means God is my strength. He's known as the messenger angel and the angel of clarity. And he's often called on when we need understanding about something. He helps us to understand and clarify situations and our life purpose. His color is white, so doesn't it make sense that he is the angel for this white ray? On the Kabbalah, he represents the quality of strength at the Geburah. And he's reported to be the angel that brought the message to Divine Mother, Mother Mary, that she was going to bring Jesus into the world physically. So that's Gabriel. I think he's one of the most well-known angels of all the archangels that we work with and know about. This morning in meditation, Ruth and I sat with the energies of two colors. And when Ruth went into her heart and asked who was working with her with the colors she had, it was Gabriel. So we discussed that there was no accident, no coincidences. Gabriel showed up and he wants her to share from that meditation this morning. Ruth, thank you for being here with us.
Of course. Hi, guys. So, I guess to back it up just a little bit, I had a pretty sleepless night last night. One of my dogs was sick, so I was trying to doze. And at one point, I said, I prayed, God, I just want to hear your voice. And I fell asleep shortly after that. But this morning, as we were doing this meditation, I knew it was Archangel Gabriel, who I was sitting in this color with. Actually, it was orange. The color that I was sitting in was orange. And I started taking notes as I was hearing Gabriel talk. And I heard, you asked to hear God's voice. And I thought that was kind of fascinating because I didn't pray it to Gabriel. I prayed it to God. So he said, you asked to hear God's voice. Hear it in words from your loved ones. Hear it in laughter. See God's voice, which I thought was very cool. See God's voice in smiles that start with the eyes. Hear it in a song of praise. Feel God's voice when you sit in the awe of the mountains or the clear water rushing in a creek. Hear God's voice in your own memories that bring you joy. For God is everywhere. God is all around you. You can't help but be surrounded by God's handiwork. That you ask to hear God's voice, God's words, signifies that you see God as outside you, as other than you. God's voice is intricately intertwined with you. You can't be separated from it, in the same way that you cannot be separated from your own heart. For without it, you wouldn't exist. And my friend, you do very much exist. Are we on? Yeah. There is no need to question God's validity, just as there is no need to question your own. And it was interesting because I didn't even think I was questioning God's validity, but by seeing God outside of myself, I think I am questioning God's validity. God is the same as always, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then he brought in this huge mirror. And he said, look in the mirror and see God in you. Look at your neighbor and see God in him or her. And God says, look in your neighbor's face, for there shall you find me. Beautiful words from Archangel Gabriel.
Absolutely beautiful. And I think just what we needed to hear. You know, Look in your neighbor's face. So many times we ask for signs. We want to see, right? We want to see so we can believe. And the teachings that have come forth from those that are very, very close spiritually to God are believe it, and then you will see it. So it'll show up for you when you open up to it. So thank you, Ruth, for that. That was absolutely beautiful and beautiful sharing for us. Uh, Thank you, Darlene. Darlene says she's working on getting in touch with the angels. So it's just a matter of opening up your heart. And let's open to Archangel Gabriel right now. So we're going to invoke Gabriel. He's already been here since before we even went on the air. I think he was doing a little dance, is what it felt like. It's like he was just chomping at the bit to be with us tonight and to allow his energy to come through this teaching, to already prepare us with what happened this morning. And that was so unexpected. And then when I told Ruth, well, I'm teaching Gabriel tonight with the white ray, so it all fell into place. It's all synchronicity. So let's invite him into our hearts right now. And Gabriel, thank you. Thank you for being with us so fully, so beautifully, to help us understand more about this white ray energy, to help us understand more about ourselves. Touch us now as we learn more about how to relate to you, how to reach you, how to show up fully, listening to you, shutting out all the noise, everything else, just letting it go to where we can be fully immersed in this energy that you bring to us of the white ray, that you help us as we go through this human experience. You help us to understand. And the more we listen, the more we go into that silence and that time of shutting out everything except God's voice, and the angels will guide. And we thank you for doing so. We thank you for clarifying what we might be hearing but not understanding. So right now, just breathe that in. Breathe in that desire to connect with Gabriel. And thank you for wanting it. Thank you for wanting more understanding about these beautiful helpers that we've been given as humans. So let's just take a moment to feel his energy. See the white light again shining above you, flowing down through every chakra in your body and anchoring into your heart the energy of harmony. No matter what's going on around you, just follow that voice, the voice that says, listen to me, I'm right here. I envision Gabriel going to each person who's hearing this, whether you're here with us right now, physically listening, or you'll listen to the replay. And as you feel that touch of the angel, just show gratitude. Just say, thank you, Gabriel. Be more fully in my life, in my heart, in my mind, that I might understand. I'm just going to allow a moment for each person to feel that touch, to feel that love, that harmony, that compassion. Gabriel is such a beautiful energy. I think sometimes when I see confusion and chaos, I just wish people could feel what I feel when these angels show up. So take a moment. If there's chaos in your life, there's confusion, if you're stuck in the energy of everything falling apart and upside down, Take a moment to just ask Gabriel to turn it right side up for you, to shut out all that noise so you can come back into your heart where love resides. What a beautiful moment together with Gabriel. And thank you, Gabriel, for being here. All right, let's move on to, well, we just did the activation and the connection with both Serapis Bey and Gabriel. But now what I want to do is activate this fourth ray energy. You, like I said, you may have incarnated into it, and we'll go over who those might be that came into the ray from the get-go, or you might want to be in it. So if you want this activation, just set your intention that you will be activated to this energy. Place your hand over your heart and repeat these words. I am a being of divine harmony.
I am a being of divine harmony.
I allow beauty to guide my path.
I allow beauty to guide my path.
I transform conflict into wisdom.
Transform conflict into wisdom.
I radiate peace wherever I go.
I radiate peace wherever I go.
I embrace my sacred creativity.
I embrace my sacred creativity.
I walk in balance, grace, and love.
I walk in balance, grace, and love.
Feel that inside of you. Feel it, the strength of it, the harmony of it. These words are words. Feel it with everything in you. The more your senses get behind the words, the more it comes in fully to activate itself. I just was given the vision of a swirling energy going from the top of the head all the way down to the tip of the toes, and this white light energy flowing through each one that said these words, each one that set your intention to receive that activation into this white light and the white ray. All right, so this is the ray of art, creativity. It acts as a bridge between the higher spiritual planes and the lower physical planes. So consider yourself right in that middle part. You are bringing in harmony. That's what that means. You're bringing in the peace in the midst of any conflict, any chaos, any ups and downs. And it's associated with the energy of these planets, Venus, Mercury, and the moon. It drives evolution through intense emotional experiences, crises, and eventual balance. So just because you are in this white ray of harmony doesn't mean that you don't have any conflict, that you don't have any experiences that are deep and intense, because that's where we learn, that's where we grow. The more intense the lesson, the bigger the spiritual growth. Just remember that. If you're going through something and there's something happening dramatic in your life, say thank you, because it's bringing you to a higher place spiritually. I mentioned already that it's the root chakra that is affected and that we're working on during this lifetime if we're working with the white ray energy. Now, here are the ones that incarnated into the white ray. If you are a Scorpio, a Sagittarius, or a Capricorn, pretty much 100% chance that you came in on this ray. You flowed in here to experience all you can experience about the lesson of bringing harmony into crises, into confusion and conflict. So you may be considered a peacemaker. Think of yourself that way. If you are one of these signs and this is your ray, and see if any of this is resonating with you. If you're not one of those signs, doesn't exclude you. You could still choose to come in on this ray, but these are the ones that have chosen that this is my divine plan. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to work with these energies and bring more harmony into our world. I think a lot of our children that are incarnating right now are white ray because they're coming into this world knowing the condition of the world at the moment. And a lot of them are trying to help us understand more about what we're doing here and how to evolve into that higher energy of harmony. So with each light thing that happens, there's a dark. That's just the way of this world. There's light and there's dark. There's chaos, there's peace. So with each ray, there's going to be a shadow, and each of us has a shadow self. Whether we acknowledge it or not, it's there. And the more we can acknowledge it, we can work with it. So the shadow expression that can happen with the energies of this ray is misused energy. Instead of creating beauty or harmony, the shadow side can lead to creating disruption, just the opposite of what we would think that a white ray energy would be doing, right? Emotional chaos. And in some cases, making a scene to gain attention or control. There's immense emotionality. So this ray can lead to extreme highs and lows. It can cause personal instability if the conflict is not used for internal growth. If you're so focused on that conflict, what's going on in the world, who's doing what, then that's a distraction from why you came here to bring harmony. So it's all part of the lesson. It's part of the lesson plan. Don't think that there's something wrong if you find yourself at some point in your life doing this, being on this part of the shadow side of the white ray. You're not doing anything wrong. There is no right or wrong. There's just the lessons. An internal split. The shadow represents a split off part of the self, often disowned. I should have my PowerPoint up so I can read it. Let me see. Okay, I'm just going to have to move, I think. So it represents a split off part of the self. We might disown feelings of vulnerability, anger, or perceived weakness. The fourth ray tries to resolve, and sometimes it's painful. Sometimes feeling those deep emotions, we're like, what am I doing here? I don't want to do this. And some people choose not to do that. For some, that intense emotion is too much. And so they do check out. There's a lot of energy right now of people deciding, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not playing this game anymore. So this is what happens when that shadow self is not acknowledged and worked with and really understood the way it needs to be understood. So the last one here is the unreliable aspect. I wish I could see it clearer. When not integrated, the fourth ray can manifest as unreliability, vacillating between decisions and difficulty finding your path. I hear a lot of people say, why am I here? Right? Why am I here? And I think that's part of the journey of going into that questioning, that indecision, that not knowing for certain. And I think even Ruth mentioned it earlier. I didn't know I was questioning the validity of God, but that's part of the experience. It can't all be laying on the lounge on the seashore. I wish it was, but that's not going to get us the deep growth, the deep emotional growth that we need. So, oh, Darlene, I just saw your comment. You're a white ray. Look at you, girl. There's a reason you were able to show up tonight. I know you'd said you might miss it, but I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so when do we call on this white ray energy? If you are a white ray and you've identified and resonated with this, and you say, "Yeah, I think I'm working in the white ray energy right now," you're going to call on it pretty much all the time. But if you want to go into that energy, if you want to be guided by Gabriel, by Serapis Bay, by those who are here working with the white ray, you might want to do that if you need more clarity about something, if you need more harmony in your life, more peace, a deeper understanding, to become more grounded, come back to who you are, just be you, to express more, and to return to that inner peace. And that's what we strive for, isn't it? We strive for peace in our lives and peace in our world. And these rays, the white rays, are all about that. They're all about the harmony, allowing that there is conflict, allowing that, yeah, this is the world that we came into, but then let's see what we can do about it, right? How can we find more peace? So let's take a moment to just reflect on the teaching from Serapis Bay, from Gabriel, who was so excited about doing this tonight, and just see how it feels for you. Are you resonating with the teaching, or is this a ray you haven't even explored yet? And maybe with this understanding about it, maybe you want to know more about that white ray energy. So you can do that in meditation. I encourage you, go into meditation, ask to be guided, ask the questions that you want answers to, become very curious. I say go into it with awe and wonder, like a child, like you have a blank sheet of paper and you just want to write everything that you're shown about the white ray, and go into it with that intention and watch what happens, because you will be given instruction, you will be given guidance. That is the promise that the angels make, that God makes, that the ascended masters make to us, that they'll be there to help us, to guide us through. So I just want to thank everybody who was here tonight and everyone who will watch this later on. I appreciate you showing up and supporting what we're doing here at Enlightened World and at Angel Speakers. I appreciate everyone that came in and let me know you're here. And I do make a worksheet to go with these teachings. If that's something you're interested in, just let me know and I'll make sure that you get a copy of it so you can go deeper. You can sit in reflection. You can sit and ask questions and journal. And I'd love to have everybody have that. But if you want it, I'll gladly send it to you. I want to thank Dr. Ruth Anderson for being with us tonight and sharing about Gabriel. And thank you for this platform of Enlightened World Network, where we bring just really amazing things like meditations daily and teachings on different things. So thank you all for being here, for showing up. And I know Linda's on Zoom. We're going to go off the air and then do a sharing of what we got from this. So thank you, everyone. Many, many blessings. I'd love to have more of you come on Zoom and have that discussion with us. There's still time to jump in here if you'd like to for now. But I'm going to say goodnight to all